Hello everyone, today we're going to see a Western adventure film from 2015 titled The Revenant. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. It starts off with Hugh Glass envisioning his house burning down while talking to his son Hawk in a tribal language. He also sees his wife. Hugh and other hunters left their homes and headed off into the woods in search for meat. They started making a camp and start a fire. Suddenly, one hunter falls down with a sharp arrow through his chest. One more falls, then another one. What could possibly cause mysterious arrows to stab into the bodies of the hunters? Well, the chief of the Arikara war tribe's daughter, Pawaka, was abducted, so he was on a spree to find her. He thought that she was abducted by Glass and his companions. A few of the hunters died, while others started to flee. While wandering around the woods, Glass encountered another tragedy, a bear. A huge brown grizzly bear comes out of nowhere, traumatizing Glass. They make eye contact, but the bear quickly forgets about that and starts to gruesomely attack Glass. Blood splashed everywhere. Scars start to appear on Glass's body as the bear rips his skin and clothes. The bear slowly turns around and walks away, so Glass stole the opportunity to take his gun and shoot at the bear. He was too slow. As soon as he raises his weak hands to fire, the bear attacked him again. This time he got a knife and stabbed the bear multiple times until it dies. Glass's companions found him helplessly, laying like a wounded soldier on a battlefield. They tended to his wounds, but after a while they realized that he is only slowing them down. Two companions volunteered to stay with him until he perishes in return for money by Henry, the head of the crew. This included Fitzgerald and Bridger. Afterwards, Fitzgerald tried to convince Hugh Glass to let him kill him because it will take him out of his misery and also prevent others from slowing down their journeys. Glass agrees, and Fitzgerald begins to suffocate Glass. To both of their surprises, Hawk shows up and thinks that Fitzgerald is intentionally killing his father. Fitzgerald tries to explain to Hawk, but Hawk disregards whatever he's saying. So Fitzgerald got upset and stabbed him to death in front of his father. Fitzgerald then began to bury Glass alive in a grave he had dug. He then fled from the scene. Glass struggled his way through and came out of the dirt. He stumbles around and sees his son lying motionless. He takes a look at him and eventually got up, leaving the site. Glass wanders off on a quest to find Fitzgerald to get his revenge. But the journey wasn't an easy one. He wanders through the bitter cold, hungry and wounded. He began eating a fish he caught straight out of a pond. At that point, it seems like it's the most delicious thing he's ever eaten. Glass continues his journey and comes across an Indian who is eating raw meat from a carcass. So having been desperate for more food, he surrenders in return for food. The Indian then gives him a piece of the meat. Fitzgerald and his companion Bridger, who earlier volunteered to stay with Glass after he was attacked by the bear, caught up with the rest of the crew at an outpost. Now being as conniving as can be, Fitzgerald lies, saying that he couldn't save either Glass or Hawk. But ironically, Bridger had some sort of remorse. Glass and the Indian are bonding, but after Glass fell asleep and woke up, he found the Indian hanging from a nearby tree. Glass then enters into the camp of the persons who killed the Indian and couldn't believe what he saw. One of the men was raping a girl, and that girl was Pawaka. Glass quickly holds the rapist at gunpoint, but he quickly flees. Glass then takes one of the horses and rides away. He finds a spot and constructs a little campsite to stay in, but little did he know that the tribe that was searching for Pawaka will eventually find him and attack him. He gets on his horse and flees, but there was a cliff and he and his horse fell off the edge. Fortunately, Glass didn't perish, but the horse did. Due to the harsh coldness of the night, Glass hadn't any other choice but to cut the horse open, remove its organs, and take shelter in its skin. Henry, who was at the outpost, led a search party in attempts to find Glass because one of the hunters found a canteen which belonged to Glass. It was at the burial site that Hugh escaped from. While they were on their search, they found Glass weakly crawling in the woods and brought him to the outpost. But when they returned, Suspiciously, Fitzgerald was gone. Glass begins to tell Henry that Fitzgerald killed his son, and that Bridger was completely innocent. Hugh Glass persuades Henry to go on a hunt to find Fitzgerald. On the hunt, they encountered him. They divided themselves and went into different directions to catch him. Henry found him first, and there was a face-off with guns for a while. Henry gets shot and is left for dead. Glass finds his body and props him on the horse. He is planning a savage trick. Now, Fitzgerald has seen the body on the horse and shoots at it, thinking that it was Glass. The body falls off the horse, and Fitzgerald thought that Glass was dead. So, because of this distraction, Glass targets him. They ended up in a catastrophic fight, which ended with Glass pushing Fitzgerald's body into the river. His body drifted to the opposite end of the river, toward the tribe who was looking for him all along. The chief, who was Powaka's father, stabbed him and he died. His body is left in the glacier waters lifelessly, gradually turning into human ice. This action-packed movie ends with Glass still not finding peace after all that he would have endured. He began to hallucinate the presence of his wife as tears settled in his eyes. Much thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care.